Hi, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com. I wanted to go ahead and do a video on this particular little subject because some of y'all might have the same problem that we had. Of course, if y'all watched enough of the videos, you know that we've got three small poodles. Well, they're actually, all three of them are miniature poodles. They're not the tiny ones. But anyway, we've got Wheeler and Steely and Peppy. And we've had Peppy the longest. We've had Steely and Wheeler for, it'll soon be 2 years. And it seems that these two dogs that we adopted at a rescue center here in South Carolina had a problem with Wheeler eating the tops of grass when it blooms and gets the little seeds on them, and he would just get grass all in his teeth. And so I took him to have his teeth cleaned, and the vet came out. You know, they have to put them to sleep for a little while they clean their teeth. And so I went back to pick Wheeler up, and the vet said, "Did you know that this dog had all kinds of grass in his teeth and in between his gums and everything?" And I said, "Well, yeah, because he eats grass all the time." So, and the other dog, Steely, had a bigger problem. What Steely did was he would eat dog poop and rabbit poop. Yeah, he would eat it. And when he would come in, it was like his breath would smell terrible. And so I had to get this little antibacterial stuff for dogs that I would, put in his mouth. We would pick up all the poop, and if you missed any little piece of it, he would find it and he would eat it. So anyway, rather than have to give them antibiotics and all that, I thought the best answer to that was to search it out and figure out why in the world they were doing that. So anyway, I looked on the internet, and literally over a course of days, really looking, and finally found this vet had written an article on why dogs eat other dogs' poop, or just animal poop. They'll eat it. And why do they do that? And there's a very simple reason for it. They're after the protein, because when they smell of it, they can smell the protein in whatever it is. So when we went to Mountain Rest, when we first took the dogs up there were rabbits there, and Steely was eating rabbit poop. Yeah, he was eating it, the little pellets, and I guess some deer poop was there too. Anyway, this whole thing's about poop, it seems like, but we're going to get to the good part. So anyway, knowing that they were after extra protein because they're small dogs, and we had tried every dog food on the market, literally every dog food, and he would still do that no matter what it was. So then I started adding some chicken to their food, and boom, he stopped doing that. I mean, he just stopped, cold turkey. He didn't do it anymore. And so it was pretty clear that he needed more protein than any dog food on the market has. He needed more than that because he's a small dog. So now we add chicken to their food, not much, but a little bit. And everything's fine. No one eats poop anymore, and Wheeler's quit eating grass. Simple. And of course, I'd always heard that dogs and cats too eat grass because they want to be able to throw up or something, helps the digestion, some reason like that. I don't know what that was. Something fell in my counter. I don't know what that was. Oh, it scared me. Anyway, so I'm going to have to cut this off and go see what that was. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I sure hope that wasn't a little mouse. I'm really hoping it wasn't. Definitely, I think something just kind of fell over up there. Anyway, to get back to the point, so we started doing the chicken, and I started out doing the chicken legs. I'd get those, great big economy packs and cook the chicken legs. But a chicken leg has the main bone in it, and it's got that real little teeny sharp bone, which you always have to make sure you get out. And then it's got the bone that I guess is kind of like a little kneecap thing on the end of that. So I thought, well, this time I'm going to get chicken thighs. So that's what I did. I actually got them at Walmart, and I got 12 chicken thighs in the pack for I think about $8. So I actually used the liquid that comes out of the pressure cooker as chicken stock for us to make something with, like egg drop soup or something like that. But then I take the bone out and just get the stuff all chopped up and use that for the dogs. And what we do, we feed them Small Bites Pro Plan, and then we add a little bit of the chicken to it. So when we did that, Wheeler stopped eating the grass seeds that are up on top of the grass when it blooms, and Steely stopped eating poop of every kind. He did. They're just like normal dogs then. And now Peppy never did that, but he gets fed more because he's a more muscular dog. But even when we tried to feed both Wheeler and Steely more food, it just made them a little fat, but they still kept doing what they were doing. So that really didn't work. So we had to add some kind of high quality protein to their food. So anyway, here's the way I do it. So I've already put the 12 chicken thighs in the pressure cooker and cooked them, and now it's almost cooled down completely. So I'm going to take it out of there, but first I'm going to drain the liquid. Now to keep the chicken stock, what I'll do is drain it off and put it in the refrigerator and let that fat get hard on the top, and then use it that way. So here we go. We're just going to drain that liquid out of there. And that really does make some great chicken stock too, by the way, if you want to make homemade chicken stock. And so I'm just going to sit this over to the side and put this in the refrigerator and let that fat on it get hard. I don't take every bit of the fat out, but I take a lot of it out. Okay, so now we're ready to separate the chicken from the bones. And just dump that out. It takes about 30 minutes in the pressure cooker. It really only takes about 20 with the pressure up, and then I just cut the burner off and let it sit there until everything cools. Okay, so all we really have to do is take the bones out. Just put that in this little bowl here. Yeah, it's still warm, so all you really have to do is take the one bone out, and there are no other bones in there. Now I'm going to use the skin and everything for the dogs. So all I want to do is make sure now I've got 12 bones in there, because you definitely don't want to feed a dog chicken bones because they can get stuck in their throat. And then you'd have a vet bill with an operation. And see, when you're doing the chicken legs, you have to make sure that extra little super thin bone that comes down, make sure you get that out, because it's real easy to miss it. Real easy. And also, that little cartilage area is real good for the dogs too. Yeah, when you put it in the pressure cooker, it makes it much easier. Now I'm going to also put the skin in there, because the skin, even though there's a lot of fat in it, it's also got protein, so they're going to get the skin too. Now on the thighs, you have to be careful that you haven't got part of the back in there too. And I just kind of check and make sure that none of the back got into the chicken thigh. Alright, so I'm going to just take my skin off, and I'm not going to use every bit of that skin. I'm just going to take some of it off. I'm going to take some of it off and put some of it in, because there is a lot of fat in that. Now I know, people are hungry in the world and all this stuff, but I can't get this chicken to those people, right? So, and my dogs have got to eat, and they're carnivorous, so they need animal protein. They really do. And I know that a lot of dog food has corn in it and other grains. And we've even tried the Wellness. I was trying to think of the different ones. Blue Buffalo, all of them. And Steely still kept eating the poop. He sure did. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is save back that little top piece on the chicken thighs, and I will make us some chicken salad with that for lunch tomorrow. So let me wash my hands real quick, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I got my hands washed, and I'm just going to take off that little top lighter colored part for some chicken salad for Mr. Bucky and I tomorrow at lunch. It's not going to be much off of it, but just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, so there's some. Now a lot of people like the thighs and the dark meat of chicken because they say they like it, it's more tasty. And I don't particularly care for it. Now, by the way, I did try to use ground turkey. And the dogs, none of them liked the ground turkey. I couldn't believe it. It was really unreal. They didn't like the ground turkey. I was just shocked. I guess they're just picky, spoiled dogs at this point. Okay, so I've put aside enough for us to have some chicken salad sandwiches tomorrow. Now I'm going to put the rest of this in the, let me turn y'all up so you can see, right there in the food processor and grind it all up. It's kind of a messy job, and I'll put a little bit of the skin in there, not all of it though, because it is a lot of fat there. And of course, if you were doing the chicken legs, you have to, make sure the bones are picked out, and they've actually got that extra little bone that's almost like a kneecap in there that you have to take off too. Yeah, this is kind of a greasy mess, but I mean, if it gets the dog to stop eating poop and grass, then I'm all for it. So I just kept back a couple of the things of the skin, just because they do contain a lot of fat. All right, so we're ready to grind this up now. Okay, I gotta work with my thing a little bit here. There we go. Okay, we're ready. Now I gotta wash my hands again. Position it just a little bit. It does grind it up pretty thoroughly. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can form it in little serving sizes, which I'm going to freeze to make it easy when we start feeding. Okay, I believe that's it. Alright, so I need to get the pan out and everything, so we'll be back in just a second. Got chicken on my camera. Okay, we're back, and I'm ready to, I've greased this pan a little bit, just a little bit, with some vegetable oil, because I'm going to put this in the freezer. So what I'm going to do is take out just a little bit, like a little teaspoonful. And what they'll do is they'll get a little teaspoonful of the chicken in their food twice a day. So what I'll do is freeze it. Now, Mr. Bucky's the one that feeds the dogs, so what he'll do is take 3 of these little balls, really, we'll just call them chicken balls, out of the freezer bag for their meal, and all you have to do is just pop them in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and they are going to thaw right out. Yeah, I'll have to tell you, the chicken smells good. It really does. It smells really good. But anyway, yeah, the dogs didn't like the turkey. Could you believe that? I couldn't. I thought they would love it, but they didn't. So we had to, that was real easy to just use the ground turkey. That was real easy, but that didn't work out. So we had to go back to the chicken. Yeah, we tried a lot of stuff, and the one that works best for them is the chicken. I don't know if it has something a little different in it or what, but that's the one they like, so that's what we give them. So it's just a good, relief to know that Steely is not eating poop anymore, and of course Wheeler's not eating the grass seed. He was really eating the grass seeds, but he was also getting some grass in his mouth too while he was eating the seeds. Yeah, he would go out there and it would look like he was grazing like a cow on grass. I mean, and all our screaming and hollering at him and trying to make him stop didn't work. And with Steely, what we did is every day we would go out there and make sure that all the dog poop was picked up, and it still didn't work because he could find some little itty bitty pieces, and he would still come in with, I would call it poop breath. Yeah, and so once he started getting more protein, that just stopped. I mean, it stopped just immediately too. So, all right, I think I've got enough on this sheet. I'm gonna have to get out another pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in the freezer. Well, wait a minute, maybe I can get a few more on there. Yeah, I'm gonna just freeze them solid, pop them in the microwave real quick in the morning and in the afternoon, and then mix it up with their dog food and add a little water, and everybody's happy and nobody's eating poop. All right, we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I've completed making all the little, I don't know, we'll just call them chicken balls. This is the second tray for the dogs, and so I actually just put them in the freezer just like this, up on top of other stuff and right under the little freezing coils, and they freeze pretty quick in the big freezer. And so I end up having to do this about every 2.5 weeks. But anyway, it keeps my dogs from eating poop, and I do think because they're small dogs, they do have trouble getting enough protein. And I think, a lot of dog foods are intended for large dogs. Now, we did try that, what is it called, Mighty Dog, the ones in the little container. And some of those they wouldn't even eat. I couldn't believe it. They just wouldn't even, I thought, we're doing you a favor here. You should be eating this expensive little dog food. And they didn't like it. So using the Purina Pro one, I think it's called, and it's the small bites, and we get the beef and rice, and that's what works, mixing a little chicken with it. Now some of these I made a little bigger, so when Mr. Bucky takes them out of the bag, if he took one this size and one that size, see, we would split one like that. So they end up getting about a teaspoon of really just pure chicken in the morning and at night, and it's working, so we're just going to keep doing it. And I also counted my chicken bones to make sure I got 12 there, because I didn't want any bones at all in this. All right, if y'all, if you have a dog who's a picky eater and is too fat, which a lot of little dogs get too fat, you might want to try doing the chicken and leaving out the chicken skin so they've just got mostly protein there, and they might be able to lose a little weight that way. Yeah. All right, we will see y'all next time.